Hi, this is Cindy Rogers-Knuckles. Thank you so much for purchasing my Scrap Simple Tools Chalkboard 6301. And today I'm just going to show you some of the fun ways you can use this great set. I'm going to go ahead and create a 12 by 12 inch chalkboard paper or background, whichever you want to call it. Of course you wouldn't want to do this for every project, but it just gives us a good basis to work on. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new blank document. I'm just going to use my paint bucket tool to drop some color in there. It doesn't matter what it is. Now I already have my styles loaded over here in my styles palette, and I'm just going to go ahead and choose one of the chalkboard. Now you can see this style is kind of off. Okay, so an easy way to correct that on any style, if you see a line or where the pattern doesn't match up, just over here in your layers palette, just double click on that pattern overlay, and then just right here it says snap to origin. Just go ahead and do that, and that should line it up. You can, you can also drag it like this. See where you can see the different pattern lines on there. But snap to origin will always just center it for you. Okay, and then just click OK. All right, so if you wanted to set that so that the pattern doesn't accidentally get, or the style doesn't accidentally get taken off of there, you would right click, oops I didn't do that, right click, and then you could say rasterize layer style. And now it's just set as a chalkboard pattern. Okay, one of the great things is there are a lot of chalkboard type fonts. Now you can use any font because you can make it look chalkboard, chalkboard-ish. You can, but there are so many that already look like the chalkboard, and I've included a list and links for you in your file. That really looks like a chalkboard font. Yep, it would help if we had white. Okay. Chalk duster. So see, that you really don't even need to do anything with, unless you want it to look more realistic and smudgy. Okay, but let's go over to this one here where this font is actually one that is solid. Okay, so that doesn't look chalkboard-ish at all. So I'm going to go ahead and rasterize that font type. Okay, and then I'm going to come over and just choose the chalk texture number 3. I want to talk really quickly about the different textures. Chalk texture light, and chalk texture, it's hard to say that, texture big, are all the same texture, just different sizes. One is lighter than the other, so you can see the difference there. I'll zoom in a bit there. Then we have chalk texture 2 and 3, and 3 is my favorite one. That I think looks the most like chalk. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. So one thing that you want to do to make it look more like chalk is kind of not really smudge it, but lighten it. I'm going to go ahead and rasterize that layer style. So I included a couple of pretty simple basic brushes. In your file too, but I'm just going to grab a soft round mechanical brush, probably 100 size, yeah. You just kind of want to run that over a little bit, see how that kind of blends it in a little bit. You don't want to do it everywhere. That's going to look more like it's part of the chalkboard background. It just adds more realism to it. Okay. Do that until you're happy with that. Okay, so another thing to make it look more realistic is to add these chalky smudges, because you know how chalkboards are, and if you're writing, as your hand is writing something, kind of smudges the chalk all over the chalkboard. So you want to do a new blank layer under your whatever you've typed or drawn, or it could be, you might use it for on an embellishment. And then you want to get a soft round brush. That one's way big. I'm going to do like 127. Yeah. And then you want to lower the opacity, and I've got mine at 19 and 23. You just want to have like a soft dusting of chalk, and then you're just going to run it around a little bit. You can do a lot, just a little here and there. It just kind of gives it more of a realistic chalk look. You could lower the opacity even more and make your brush a bit bigger. And add chalk here and there. Okay, so that's really all there is to making a more realistic chalk look. And then you can come back later with the soft eraser and on the actual font, you know, kind of soften it some more until you're happy with it. Okay, so that's one technique. Now this heart here, a lot of people don't know all of the great brushes that you have in your brush palette that comes with Photoshop. I'm not sure about Photoshop Elements, but I'm almost positive that they have the same brushes. So basically, your brush palette, you want to just go up there, click on your little icon up here, and then go over to this little gear. And if you scroll down, it's the dry media brushes. That's the ticket. Dry media brushes have some really great chalk-like brushes. And I've included a sample in your file too. It's just a graphic that shows the different brushes, kind of what they look like and their names. One of them is a soft oil pastel, and the brushes are very small, the way that they have the default, so you're going to have to make it bigger. Now I need to up the opacity again. See how this is kind of a chalk, and that's how I did the heart. So see, that's already a chalk look. Oops, I'm going to always get it on a new layer. And then I did the same thing by taking the eraser, set it under 30. You want to lower the opacity when you're erasing. Usually under 30, and just kind of erase some of the parts of it. This chalk isn't usually uniform when you're drawing on a chalkboard. And then again, you put a new layer underneath it and grab a soft brush again. Lower the opacity. I like mine pretty low because then I have more control over it. Just add some chalky smearing. So that's a great brush. I think I used it to draw the and as well. It's really so you can just really use that those dry media brushes. Let's see. Oh, pastel medium tip I think is another good one. Again, you're gonna need to up the opacity on that. Yeah, so that's another good one. It's a fun chalky look, and you could lower the opacity a little bit. I might give it more of a chalky. I'm trying to. Oh, this one I think is an interesting. Yeah, this is an interesting look. Maybe for a border. If you wanted to frame something. So these you can just kind of play with. You just remember the dry. That one's a little bit much, but you know, you might be able to do something interesting with that. these are just great things, like if you want to write your own text or if you want to draw something, you know. You can always apply the styles over those if you want. I got the, did that again where I, this is my fail-safe here. Goodbye. Okay, so I think the other thing that I wanted to show you is the different styles for the chalkboard texture. So this is number one, chalkboard number one, and again, I'm not quite sure why I need to go in and tweak the, maybe they'll be fixed by when you get these. Fix the pattern or where it's falling. Now this is another version of the chalkboard number 2. It just has more smudgy chalk on. I couldn't decide between the two, so I just thought I'd just include them both. This is more of like an old chalkboard, and then of course the green chalkboard. So, like I said, I included some fonts for you. They're free and they're personal use, I think, most of them, so you want to make sure you don't use them for anything that you sell. Some of them might have commercial licenses available, I'm not sure, but they're from places like DeFont and stuff like that, so I gave you the links for those as well. And if you have any other questions, just go ahead and email me. My email is going to be on a text document in your file. And thanks again for purchasing these, and I hope you have fun with them. Goodbye.